The reason why I didn't follow my father's business primarily was because it was too easy. I think that I was looking for something more challenging, more exciting. And having grown up watching my father's business, I pretty much knew what, the future had for me. And I think I needed to know for myself what could I really do given the opportunity, which is why I didn't really follow that direction. I knew I would always be in business. I didn't have an aspiration of being a fireman, a doctor, an architect. I knew that business really was in my character, it was in my personality. And I love that thrill of a deal, really, right from the early ages. So I think business was clearly, in my destiny. I think if you're comparing to the rest of Europe, my honest opinion is I think the UK is a fantastic place to do business. I think the circumstances and the opportunities available in this country, are as good as anywhere. So I'm a big supporter of UK PLC. I think the biggest mistake an individual tends to make is they're over-optimistic, they're unrealistic, they don't think through the challenges clearly enough, they don't do sufficient research. I think they tend to listen to the wrong people. When you have a good proposition and you go to family and friends, the truth is most of them are going to say it's a great idea because they're not buying it and they're not paying for it. And I think if you're going to embark on your own business, I think you need to do much wider due diligence, much wider feedback of people not saying, I think it's a great idea, but would you pay X for it? I think the other factor is pricing. Don't just look at the idea, look at what the barrier to entry of that idea is. What's the price point it's going to be sold at? Because everything works at a price. The key points for entrepreneurs is, recognizing that any business today is a highly competitive market. Unless you've got real USPs that you can promote and communicate effectively, you're going to find it quite difficult, because whether you're in recruitment, financials, or any product, the market has huge competition issues in there. What makes your business stand out? Why is your business any better than the next business? The single biggest challenge in starting a business today, I would say, must be raising capital. Because raising capital for startups isn't easy. Because when you're raising 50, 100, 200,000 pounds, funnily enough, the smaller the amount, the harder it is to raise money. So I think capital, certainly I would put up as one. I think secondly also, having the right team, because I think a lot of people think because they've got an idea, it's a business. I think it takes more than one person to build a business. And I think a lot of people are inadequately resourced from a team perspective. The team's normally a bit weak because, as you know, there are 6 or 7 very key components in business, whether it's financial, operational, sales, IT, back office, distribution, logistics, etc. And the truth is you can't be good at everything. So I think it's having assembled, the right team to help you execute the plan. I think probably my most proudest moment in business is probably Alexander Mann. I think the reason is because it was the first, and the first, it's a bit like your first love. It's the one you always remember, it's the one you're probably the most passionate about, and also because it was one that I built from scratch myself, because all the other businesses I've been associated with or connected with, I've either been an investor or they were my ideas, but Alexander Mann for me was the one, I came up with a name, I started the business, I had my little broom cupboard, and taking that business from sort of nothing to 100 million, that was probably the most exciting journey for me in my life. What do I look for, I suppose, in people, what I look for in a proposition? For me, the most important ingredient is the person I'm going to back. Because over the last 20 years, time and time again, I've learnt from experience that it is not products that come to life and build businesses. It's services that don't just happen. It's people's passion, it's their conviction, it's their motivation, it's their drive. It's something inside them that wants to perform and succeed. And therefore, even in Dragon's Den and businesses I've looked at in the past, by looking at an idea and saying, oh my God, that's going to work, actually I think is naive, because it doesn't. It's the person that brings it to life. So I happen to believe that if you gave me a fantastic individual with drive, passion and conviction, even if they had a mediocre proposition, they could make it work. If you gave me a fantastic idea with a great product, with a mediocre individual that didn't have drive, that didn't have passion, that didn't have that hunger in them, it would fail. So I think, to me, the most important ingredient is people.